The silent echo. It was a cold, moonless night. The old Zen master sat alone in his simple stone hut, wrapped in a worn blanket, staring into the dying embers of the fire. His aged companion, a small tabby cat named Kira, was curled up asleep in his lap, purring softly. The master sighed heavily, a deep sadness stirring in his heart. Despite decades of meditation and spiritual practice, he still felt something missing. A question unanswered. A thirst unquenched. An empty longing he couldn't name. As the fire faded and darkness filled the room, he lit a candle and opened a window to gaze at the stars. How small he was in the vast sweep of the universe. How fleeting this life is. How alone. His reverie was broken by a strange echo outside. He listened closely. There it was again, a faint tap-tap in the distance, repeating with uncanny precision. He wondered what could possibly be making such a sound at this late hour. His curiosity got the better of him. He gently moved the cat from his lap and pulled on his sandals. Grabbing a walking stick and the candle, he followed the sound out into the night. Down a winding path through moonlit woods he walked until he arrived at an old, abandoned temple. There, sitting with his back against the outer wall, was a young monk, rhythmically tapping a small drum. The old master stood and listened. Tap, tap, tap. Perfectly even, exactly the same tone and interval each time. He watched, mesmerized, as the monk tapped for hours without stopping, utterly focused and present in each beat of the drum. As dawn light filtered through the trees, the monk gave one final tap and bowed. He turned to see the old master standing there and smiled. The master smiled back, his question finally answered. He had found his true successor. The young monk rose and bowed. "I am ready," he said simply. The master bowed in return. And together in silence, they walked back to the little stone hut to begin a new phase of training. The echo had found its source. This little Zen story explores themes of spiritual longing, finding meaning and connection, embracing the present moment, and the relationship between a master and student. After reading this, I felt a sense of peace and insight into life's deepest questions. The repetitive drum beat is a metaphor for focused mindfulness and how something as simple as